And we are live. Hey, everyone.
What's up?
Thanks for joining us. Thank you to my buddies, Rich and Alan Tecchio. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is going to be the marathon. What have we been going for, like an hour or so? No, I'm kidding. We've been going for like seconds. Boy, I'm wiped out already. No, this is going to be a into the night kind of thing. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining. This is all about the Am I Evil graphic novel IndieGoGo campaign that just launched today. We're doing pretty well so far, but like I said, I'm going to kind of play it. I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to take it easy. So I'm also going to do links and share this thing around and all that. But I mean, I will just say we got a star-studded evening. We got Evo Terra is going to join us pretty soon. And throughout the night, we got T. Morris and Pip Ballantine. We have the legendary Bobby Blitz from Overkill is going to join us later. You guys must go way back, right, Alan? You guys must know each other from the Jersey scene.
Solid cat. In Jersey. You'll have to tell us a couple stories once we get done with our introductions here.
Tons of stories.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna do some links and all that kind of thing and some behind the scenes stuff. But like I said, we're in for the long haul. So again, Alan Tecchio, thank you so much. Alan Tecchio is another fucking legend here. I'm going to curse tonight, by the way. So just be warned.
The second time being on our show as well. So thanks again for returning.
Dude, of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, and I hope you've all checked out. I mean, I know we talked last time Alan Tecchio was here. You got to check out Mike LePond's Silent Assassins. The Horror of Babylon album is still one of the best of the year. It's just a fantastic album, and Alan sounds amazing. The lead vocals on that record.
How long has it been out now?
Ooh, it's been a while now. I'm not even sure when it came out, but it's definitely been a number of months for sure. I'm not sure exactly the release date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like maybe end of June, if I remember correctly.
Oh, could be.
Yeah. And how's the feedback on that? How's that been going?
So far, so good. I mean, LePond would be a better source for that. But the response we've gotten so far from people online has been really phenomenal. It's cool.
Okay. You check out the reviews too? You're a person that looks at your reviews, your work?
Not really. No. I learned that early on when I did my first album. I was 19 years old. It was the first Hades album. And we got a review in Kerrang, actually. And Malcolm Dome did the review, and he was like, this guy makes Halford look like Tiny Tim. So my head exploded, and I'm thinking, my hero, I'm better than my hero. And I really believed that for the first three reviews because they were so good. And then the bad reviews came out. And they were so humbling that I learned to just tune all that out and just do what I love. And people are going to love it and hate it no matter what.
Sometimes you get that album, or it's not sometimes, just a lot of times you get that album that's just a win-win. Nobody can debate that it's a great album, that it's not a great albm, There's a lot of things like that.
I don't agree with that, but for me, my voice, it's always like a love or hate thing. People either really dig what I do vocally or they really don't like it. I'd maybe say I'm not like Geddy Lee, but it's the same kind of reaction. You know what I mean? Like some people freaking hate Rush because of his voice. And Rush is like one of my favorite bands ever. And I love his voice, but it definitely turns people off my voice sometimes.
Well, I guess I get it because that's the kind of voice you have. Yeah, I've loved it. Like I said, I've said it before. Going back to the Hades days and nonfiction, and again, hearing you on the new record, it's just like a throwback to the old days. I mean, people out there, you're getting like a blend of Symphony X and Hades and just old school metal. It's just you can't and history. I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
For sure. And listen, I'd rather be that guy who's loved and hated rather than the guy who's like okay. He's okay.
That's also well said. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're all right. The vocalists, like at least you stand out and people will remember you. You're distinctive. So
Thanks, bro. Teccelerator, by the way, comes from a song I did with Autumn Hour called Teccelleration. That's where that word came from. Okay. In case you're freaking out about the name.
No, that's. I think that's what we have to call you from now on.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fine with me.
So, like I said, I'm a little distracted. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm a little verklempt, and I'm also doing some sharing.
Okay.
No problem. No problem.
So, Alan, what kind of memories do you have of the song from Diamond Head, Am I Evil? Do you have any connection to it at all?
Well, my connection to that song was not the original Diamond Head version. It was the Metallica redo. And it was probably, in fact, it was definitely my first year in college because I only did 2 semesters. So I didn't go beyond my first year of college. But a guy that lived in the dorms with me at William Patterson University was a huge metalhead, highly responsible for getting me into like Hell Awaits and like all the early Slayer stuff. And he would play that song, and the production on that song, the redo of Am I Evil with Metallica, was just so crushingly heavy that I didn't even realize it wasn't their song. I'm like, this is the greatest song like ever, And then I got into the history of it. So, it started with Metallica for me, probably 1985. And, I've since, of course, heard the Diamond Head version, the original.
Right.
And it's a great song, soup to nuts, everything about it is super like dialed in metal.
Yeah. You've always been a Jersey guy, right?
I lived in Austin, Texas when I was in Watchtower for a little bit, but other than that, full on Jersey.
But in the 80s, you're a Jersey guy, right?
Oh yeah.
So do you remember the Union Market in Union?
I do not. Was that like a flea market? Yeah. Oh shoot, my thing's going off. I don't know how to turn this thing off. Hang on. Was that like a thing like, because Frank White and I are doing that Jersey metal book right now, and he used to do a whole bunch of flea market things and stuff, and he might know that better than me, but I never made it down there.
Yeah, there's the watching market. Yeah, the watching market, the one in Union, and then the one in Route 9, right? Was it down by Rutgers? There were the 3 of them were the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one was in that. The one was in Mallrats, right? The one was in the Kevin Smith movie.
I think so,
yeah. So the Union Market, that's where I found the single for Creeping Death.
Oh wow!
This year over the Diamond Head song, because at that point, I think up until that period, Metallica, I would say that's Ride the Lightning. That's like 84. So I think Diamond Head up to that point was still on import, right? Probably. Yeah, so I didn't really know who Diamond Head, I don't think, was until I heard the song as well. But I got the single for Creeping Death because of the artwork.
And that was the B-side?
It was the B-side to Creeping Death, yeah.
Nice.
That and Blitzkrieg.
Union Market, because they used to get a lot of cool imports.
Yeah. And Blitzkrieg, another one. Same exact thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And then I went back and discovered Diamond Head Blitzkrieg.
Yep.
By the way, Lou Garrell says I went to William Patterson for a year. So there you go.
Nice. I was there in 85, Lou. Quickly departed.
I remember watching Market. That's where I got a lot of that stuff. Actually, I heard it through Metallica first too. I mean, just full disclosure. And I remember for years thinking like, I bet you the Diamond Head version is crap. I bet you it's wimpy. I remember. And then I heard it. I was like, wow, this is note for note. This is
It's really good, but the Metallica production that had that edge and that chunk, which was I think above and beyond.
Yeah,
well, as everything did.
Diamond Head came out in 80, I think, right? That album, Lightning to the Nations?
It was 79 or 80, yeah. So I don't want to tell you how old I was at that point. But I certainly wasn't listening to it then. But yeah, I mean, Diamond, we had Diamond Head on last week on our show. And
nice.
Such great guys. It's so just down to earth and just humble, just great guys. And they talk quite a bit about where everything is. And they're still going strong today too. They've got a new album in the works.
Yeah.
They told us.
Still making new music, gonna make another album, hopefully next year.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, and what about you, Teccelerator? You told us last time you were on. Tell us what you have in the works. Tell about your projects that you have coming up.
That stuff.
Right now, actually, my cousin and I have just been screwing around with stuff. It's not like for real. He's fairly new to the guitar, and he just sent me a version of Remember Tomorrow by Iron Maiden Acoustic, and I'm going to track it right here in my little local booth, studio, office, whatever space is like a little closet in my basement. And that's just kind of for fun. I'll probably throw it on Facebook. We're not selling it or anything. It's just like to do it. And then I'm working on a whole bunch of cover songs with my band Level Fields. and we're doing some weird stuff. We're doing like a Cure song and a band called Top Drawer from the 70s that was out in Kentucky. Have you ever seen Hunters? I don't know if you saw Hunters, that show with Al Pacino. I think it's a Netflix or a Prime show. It's the older Jewish people that hunt down all the Nazis in America. That's the premise of the show. And the very last scene in the very last episode of the first season, which is all that's out, I think, right now, there's a song that just, I don't know, songs sometimes just grab you, right? And I was like, this song is so freaking cool. What is it? And I looked into it. It was this band Top Drawer that never went on to anything else. And we just took this song and kind of morphed it into a heavier version. It's got like an 8-minute guitar solo in the middle, so we shortened that up. But we're covering that. And we're covering Lights by Ellie Goulding, if you know that song, which was like a big like pop hit a few years ago, like total mainstream pop.
My daughter's a fan.
Yeah, so we're putting together, I don't know what we're going to do with these cover songs. And I have like a dozen level field songs that I'm working on right now. And I'm a creature of inspiration, right? So if I'm not inspired, it's hard for me to just sit down to a song and be like, okay, I'm going to write this song today, and this is what it's going to be about. Like I gotta have the riff lift me to another place and be like, this is what this song's about, and then I can start writing. So these songs, I'm sure it's frustrating as all hell for my bandmates, but they're in play. There's probably a dozen songs, and hopefully we'll get that done and we'll put that on a record, or record. I say CDs now. We have the Level Field CD, and everybody I know, I ask, do you want to hear my new band? And nobody has a CD player anymore. So it's like a little confounding, but I'm still
go to like YouTube or something. You have to go to like YouTube and like create a YouTube channel or something. It's like all social media based.
I think you're right. So that's probably the next step. But yeah, I'm still working and creating. And even today, like I'm working on my day job, which is selling restaurants as a real estate agent, which is certainly arduous in this environment that we're in. But I'm staying busy and I got some stuff going on. And then midway through my morning, I'm just like, you know what? Let me just put the pause on work and light up the studio. And I'm right here at my seat. I can just stand up. My microphone's right above me. And I just start singing some songs. And it's very cathartic. Like it gets that part of you out and it lets you still be that person and create. So I'm happy to and feel very lucky to still be able to create.
No, that's great. I don't know if we covered this. Do you, the voice is your instrument, is your main instrument. Do you play guitar, piano, or anything else?
I don't. I can hold a decent beat on a drum, but I'm not good. And I know like vocal theory. I took a lot of vocal lessons and a lot of music theory stuff back in the day. So intervals and stuff like that I'm pretty good with, but I'm more of the organic kind of approach when I look at a vocal, and I just kind of like create a bunch of different melodies and then I see if all those notes work together. And I think it's called it's not harmony, but it's like it's not polygamy, but it's like polyphony. So it's different melodies that may or may not work together and just create a cool different sound. So that's kind of what I've been playing around with anyway.
Excellent. Yeah, the polygamy in music is a totally different thing.
Polyphony. I never even knew that word existed.
How's things going with the book with Frank?
It's going great. Frank has just sent me a whole bunch of photos actually a little while ago. And it's so cool, man. It's bringing back a lot of memories. The book is going to start a little bit before my time in Jersey, like late 70s, when I was not old enough to get into clubs and bars and see bands. But that's really kind of where it all started. And then certainly through the 80s, 90s, and all that, like I have vast history, and Frank has all the photos. And he's procuring a lot of photos from the Aquarian magazine, which I used to work for years. And a lot of the stuff is just bringing back, like, it's just it's a touchstone, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing all these ads for bars and clubs that used to be around that no longer exist, and all the bands that played them. There's a cool lineage here in the state, and I can't wait to put the book out. I just want to make sure we don't forget anybody, because it's so easy to forget some people,
How like deep are you going into like bands that were around? Like, do they have to be signed? Do they have to be just club bands? Do they have to have a record out? How are you doing that?
So it's more it's a great question, Rich. Actually, we're looking at it like what was important to the scene. So in the early days, nobody got signed. I mean, maybe, and they're not even a Jersey band, but Zebra used to play the scene in that circuit back in the day, the places like the Hole in the Wall in Rochelle Park, like weird places that don't even exist anymore, that were massive venues at the time, because the drinking age was 18. So these people would pack in hundreds of people. I'm still good friends to this day with Danny Muro, who was the guitar player in White Tiger, who was a cover band, definitely never signed, but he designed all the nonfiction covers for all of our CDs, like as an artist. So that's how I got to know Danny. And I was talking to him and I was like, what was it like back then? And for these guys, man, they were living, not initially, but eventually high off the hog. They had crews that worked for them. That was their full-time job. Their crew didn't have a day job. Like they all lived in a big house in Staten Island, made $5 to $7, $8 grand a night, and played 3 or 4 nights a week, and enjoyed and partied and had a killer time. And they were discovered in New Orleans, actually, White Tiger, and then they came up to Staten Island and they became a Jersey guy himself. So it'll cover bands like that. It'll definitely cover, as we know, Blitz is coming on. It's going to cover Overkill and all those guys, because they laid the groundwork for a lot of the stuff, Rat Skates and whatnot. But certainly like Monster Magnet. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into bands that didn't necessarily ascend like my bands, and like Godspeed.
Well, you guys did really well though on SOU. So how do you connect to like that SOU audience? Because you guys got played on there a lot.
Well, SOU absolutely elevated us, and there is no question about that. Evo,
what up?
Evo, hey everyone. So Evo, you've got me beat, man. I'm impressed. I can't do that. So,
isn't it?
Evo Terra, I made this joke last week. Evo Terra is beneath me, and Evo meet Alan Tecchio of Hades and Nonfiction, and Mike LePond, Silent Assassins, and millions of other great historic metal bands. I'll just do a quick intro. Evo Terra he's actually officially now the godfather of podcasting. He's been at it since no one knew what it was. So, he was like number 2 after Adam Curry. So
awesome. Adam Curry.
Close.
Yeah. But no, thank you so much, Evo, for joining. Yeah, we were just talking about the metal scene. Alan's got a book coming out soon about the New Jersey metal scene. I know that you grew up
metal seam, as in like we're welding, like a joint. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what this is about. Yeah.
Or is it a different kind of joint?
Sewing.
Got it. All right.
This is a blacksmith show. That's what we're talking about here.
Got it.
But it's awesome to see you, Evo. Evo's a great friend of mine. It's great to see you, man. And
thanks for having me.
You've got some fans in the comments.
I'll let you guys finish your conversation. Yeah, just tell me when it's time for me to talk.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, I saw Evo sitting in the waiting room. I didn't want to leave him hanging. So yeah, please go on about the book. And yeah, WSOU and your coverage on WSOU.
Yeah, sure. So the book's not coming out anytime soon, and we just started working on it. I have a rough design for the cover. Frank hasn't even seen it yet. We're thinking of taking a picture from Monsters of Rock that he had a giant stadium, I think, as the background for the cover. But he's got so many killer photos he's done over the years. I mean, the guy just has an extensive volume, and he's connecting with other photographers and people that have stuff that we can incorporate into it. So it's super cool, but early stages, man. It's going to be we're going to self-publish this thing, because we met with a publisher on a virtual meeting kind of like this. And he was like, dude, if you can do the layout and you have all the elements, he goes, you don't need me. And he goes, and I'm not putting anything out till 2022 anyway. So Frank and I are just going to take this on our own. We're going to pay for it ourselves. And it's a passion, you know what I mean? It's not about making crazy money, but music's never been about that for me. But back to SOU, they did make us a bunch of money, because we would probably play for a few hundred people maybe. And once SOU hooked into Nonfiction and made us like number 1, we were playing for a lot of people, and our money was much better. And the adoration, all the stuff that went along with that was largely due to their putting us on the map in that way, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, WSOU is, I guess they're still going strong, right? It was the college metal station in New Jersey where, a lot of us were introduced to bands like Hades and Nonfiction, and also for myself, like Merciful Fate and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we have Evo back, and I see half of Evo's other half up there on screen too.
She said, "Can I stay in for this?" And I said, "Sure." So
Yeah, more than welcome.
And I'm getting some side eye for that.
Oh, there she is.
That's the lovely wife,
Yes.
Sheila D.
Yes. So and basically I'll do just like I said, I did a kind of a weird half-assed intro, but Evo is legitimately one of the most interesting people in the world. I don't think he drinks Heineken, but or whatever, Dos Equis or whatever.
Dos Equis, I believe the most.
Yeah,
I have been known to drink a Dos Equis if there's nothing else available, but that's definitely true.
But yeah, I mean the stories that Evo can tell are just are without number and without end.
About you.
No. Oh, thank you, Evo, for joining us. I'm going to let you go. Yeah.
I want to hear these stories, Jack.
Yeah, Evo has seen me in some interesting moments.
I certainly have. Yeah. Jack and I have known each other since, gosh, what, 04, 05?
Yeah, 04, 05. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I think probably 03, either 03 or 04, because, we started podcasting in 2004. And so it was, before that. So, craziness.
16 years. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. 16 years, 2 wives for one of us. And it's been great.
Yeah. And grandchildren and, lots of little ones running around. Yeah. Lots. But yes, I mean, I see David LePond says, do it. I think that it was meant for you there.
Oh, tell the stories.
Who's
in there? JR's in there. Tony. Right. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Actually, David LePond, I won't give away his secret identity, but he was there for some of those. There were some pool parties. We'll just say that.
Got it. But I know I think I know the first name, so I won't back up with who that other one was. But right. Yeah. We had some wild times back in our younger days. Now we're all old men.
Our younger days in their 30s. Yeah. When we were wild kids in our 30s. Yeah.
Well, you were in your 30s, but whatever. So.
Yeah, even we've done World Cons together. We've done just done podcasts and had all kinds of fun. But yeah, Evo and Sheila have traveled the world too. I mean, they did some interesting stuff, and they were sentenced to come back to Arizona because
that is true. Yeah, we had no intention of hanging around. For the people who haven't heard the story, so at the end of 2014. My lovely wife and I decided to have what I like to call our shared midlife crisis. And with a grown kid out of the house, and Sheila and I are both the oldest of all of our siblings, and our other siblings are much closer to our parents, both in proximity and in emotionally. So we were the weird, unencumbered people who said, look, if not now, when? And so we sold literally everything that we owned. And in January of 2015, we left the country with a one-way ticket to France and 0 plans after that. And with the full intention of just traveling the world for a year to see where we would go and see what we could do and see what would happen. But so we hit that first year, we hit 13 countries across 3 continents, which was a lot of fun. And at the end of 2015, we were sitting in Brisbane, Australia. It was, I think, right around Thanksgiving time, which is, by the way, if you had to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas anywhere, Australia, not a bad place to do it. But we decided we had a realization, and that realization was we were running out of money and we needed to do something to bring gainful income back in, but we didn't want to come back to America. So we went to Bangkok. We'd spent about 4 months in Thailand during our travels, went back to Bangkok, and 2.5 years later, we were still in Bangkok. My lovely wife Sheila over here became the principal of a private school in Thailand.
Nice.
I mean, she's a lifelong educator, so she clearly has the expertise for doing it. But so she did that, and I sat on my ass in Bangkok for 2.5 years. It was awesome. Great.
Yeah, that makes a hard man trouble.
No way you can get in trouble. Exactly right. So we do have plenty of things to get in trouble with there. But anyhow, that was a lot of fun. So living in Bangkok was great. But our son, who we had left at the time, forgot that conversation that we had when he was 12 years old, and found out we were going to be grandparents. So in April of 2018, we came back to America, and in July of 2018, our granddaughter was born. And now Bali is a little over 2 years old, and we've been back in Phoenix ever since because, not like she's going anywhere anytime real soon. We got about another 16 years before she has to go travel the world. So I guess we're here for a while.
Yeah, I told you it's got a. That's just scratching the surface.
One story of many.
Yeah, but again, Evo was there for me in the early days of my writing too. Helped did a lot to get my writing out there. So without Evo, it's arguably there wouldn't be Am I Evil, the graphic novel. And actually,
I wanted to make sure I'm not responsible for Spherical Tommy, or am I responsible for Spherical? Well, no, you already had written Spherical Tommy. I'm responsible for anybody knowing about Spherical Tommy.
Yeah, you definitely helped launch it. Yeah, and then we've got 2 more people we're going to add to the stream. 2 more troublemakers.
Oh my God!
Oh, wait. Who is
from the chat?
So
and Pip Sheila says hi. Say hi.
Yeah, and Pip. Why don't you guys to meet Rich Catino? Hang on, and Alan Tecchio is. If you missed the intro, he's a fucking legend. Not just a legend, he's a fucking legend from New Jersey.
It was that kind of stream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got fruit in your glass tea too? I get fruit.
Dude, come on. You and I are brothers from another mother. You know that, right? I mean, we've known that since day one.
All right, but I got a nipple with mine.
Hey now.
We need masculine drinks around here.
Evo, how are you feeling, by the way? I know you had
Yes, I am much better. I am no longer in a cloud of pain or opiates. So
watch for Evo's new book, Romancing the Stone, coming soon.
Right. Oh. Yeah, kidney stones are no laughing matter, kids. Not at all.
Oh, no doubt.
And and I knew that, right? I've had people not in my family. Well, my stepdad has kidney stones, but nobody else does, so I don't think it's genetics for me. But I have several friends who've had kidney stones, younger than I am, and they've just had these horrible stories. My stepdad tells stories of just collapsing in the at dinner and whatever else. And for me, I didn't have any of that. I had a little bit of discomfort. So I went in and the doc's like, well, we need to take it out. Thinking, going to a hospital in the middle of a global medical pandemic doesn't seem like something I really want to do, doc. And, so do I have to? And he said, well, it's not going to come out on its own. I said, yeah, but it's sitting at the bottom of the kidney. It's not. He said, well, let's wait 3 months. All right, let's wait 3 months. So last week of August, I was supposed to make my appointment. And I had forgotten to make my appointment to go get another scan to see what's going on. Okay. And the kidney stone reminded me because it had decided to go on walkabout. And now this is a 9 millimeter stone. If you've seen a bullet, that's how big 9 millimeters is. Oh. And that is not how big the tube coming out of the kidney is. So that was stuck. Mr. Wright, how are you, Cheyenne?
Hi.
So
sounds like I showed up at just the right time.
Just at the pain, just at the time of pain, right? So anyhow, this thing decides to come out. It's like, okay, this is bad. So call the doctor and say, I need 2 things. One, I need the orders sent so I can go get another scan on this stone to see what's wrong. Number 1, and number 2, drugs. Please, drugs now. Yeah. So I went to go see the doctor like the next day. They got me in to see him with it. Well, no, that's not true. I did the scan on a Thursday, but then of course I had to wait over the weekend, see the doctor again on a Monday. Ugh. So by that time, I'd been laying on the couch, massive pain, bundled up, stoned out of my gourd on opioids and other herbal remedies that I may or may not have access to. Yeah, just a nightmare, just a week long. I was able to work from about 6:30 in the morning till around 10 in the morning. And then after that, my body's like, fuck you. You're going to lay down for the rest of the day, get high, and just watch random Turkish television programming on Netflix.
I can see that. I can see you doing that. I could see you doing that.
Yeah. That's what I did. It took a week for them to get the surgery scheduled. And so, the next, if they even mention the word kidney stones, now. Just go now. I'm going to go to the hospital right now. You coming with me, Doc? We're just doing this right friggin'
doing this
now.
Right friggin' now. Right.
Oh,
right.
So bad. But I'm much better.
Good. Good, man.
You look
Dude, I just had a diverticulitis. Not fun.
I have that as well. So that's good. And it's my left kidney. So so diverticulitis goes down the left side of your body, and you got this thing on the left side of the back. So a little combination activity because there's
everywhere.
Welcome to 52, asshole.
Hey,
brother, I hear you.
And I thought I was feeling bad, just feeling mopey after a 3-mile run, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm passing a kidney stone." I'm like, "Well, okay."
Yeah,
I'm just going to run harder now. I'm just going to run harder. I think the harder I run, the harder the kidney stone is going to be able to keep up with me. So hopefully that'll be the
You
trick.
can outrun them.
Where the hell's Mangan? Isn't this his show?
This is Megan's show.
Jesus Christ!
There he
Oh,
is.
there he is. Yeah.
There he is.
That was a boring conversation. Are you done with your story, Evo?
Said no one ever.
You're right. No, but no, I'm a fucking cheapskate, as you guys all know well. But we were on the free version of StreamYard, and we actually hit our limit. So I was in the room. I was in the room watching you guys. Rich actually just dropped out, but
That's funny.
But yeah, so we just should introduce Cheyenne Wright is an amazing Hugo Award-winning artist. Cheyenne, I think you know everybody here. Accelerator is Alan Tecchio, who's a legendary vocalist. Actually, I'm sorry, the fucking legendary vocalist from Hades and Nonfiction, and a ton of great New Jersey-based bands. But yeah, and again, it's great to talk to you guys all together here. Rich actually left, so I jumped into his spot. Because again, I should have paid for the more expensive.
No. Remember, Jack. We talked about this. When you start doing these crowdsource projects, you want to keep the bottom. You want to spend as little money as possible. You have to be a cheapskate. That's when you're like, look, do you want me to sell plasma? I will sell plasma if I can get a $10 pledge. I mean, basically, Patreon is the Kickstarter that won't end. So, in my opinion, at least, yeah. So, but just don't worry about it. Just for the next 30 days, your life is going to be one mega roller coaster of stress, and I applaud you for it, sir. Because anytime Pip says, "Hey, I'd love to do a Kickstarter," I'm like, "You do that."
I never have. Well, I did. We did twice, and then that was enough. And then you never say never, though. Never say never.
That is true. I mean, Cheyenne, how many Kickstarters have you been affiliated with? Good Lord.
Oh, it's impossible. It's got to be like 20.
Yeah. See, what you don't realize is that last week Cheyenne had like all black hair here and a full head of hair.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Well. One of our stretch goals is no lies. I'm going to shave this ridiculous thing. So we'll see.
Okay.
So
this is actually after cutting it. I was like getting really woolly. I was like, oh, I have to be on camera today. I better do something.
I trim the sides because I've tried to get these sides here to grow in, but like some peer pressure, but they just simply won't do it. So I keep those nice and tight. But this still gets kind of bushy, so I let it go. Here,
I can take this all off. It'll be back in by the next full moon.
There you go.
Wait a minute. By the next full moon. Wait a minute.
What? I mean, what did I say?
But so. No, I was going to also just. I mean, since we're talking about the Kickstarters, and we've all kind of been around that block. I mean, Alan he was just talking about all the bands he's been with. Is that something you guys have ever considered? I mean, so it's a brand new day for this kind of thing. And there are bands. Seven Kingdoms is a band who does it really well. And yes, their music is based on Seven Kingdoms, on George R. R. Martin stuff. But yeah, they do really well on Kickstarter. A lot of these bands do well on Kickstarter and IndieGoGo. By the way, we got to bump IndieGoGo.
Yeah,
IndieGoGo.
Yep.
But,
yeah, we haven't done anything with that stuff. I mean, Mike, I think, wanted to do one of our records for the Silent Assassins like that, but then he ended up getting a deal, and we got a little bit of money, and we made it work. So it's not a big cash windfall or anything, but we've always been able to somehow self-sufficiently do it. But honestly, doing a Kickstarter would probably be a smart move.
It really is, though. I mean, the planets have to align. You have to. You also have to go over the battle plan. I was when I was talking to Jack a little bit about our Kickstarter experience with Pip and myself. Well, first off, I think I should segue to my better half, Pip. Why don't you talk about the very first Kickstarter we ever did and how you instigated it with Galileo Games? Well, I love this story. I love this story so much.
Shut up and let her tell it.
Well, it was just an off-the-cuff comment to Brennan Taylor of Galileo Games at an event, and apparently he took me seriously because like a year later he was like, "See, you know when you said we should make a Ministry of Peculiar Characters role-playing game? So yeah, I'm in." And I was like, well, "What?" I'd completely forgotten that I'd even said anything to him.
Yeah, what she's kind of glazing over is that I got the email about it. Pip did. I got the email about it. I got the email from JR. I got it from JR Blackwell, and she's like, Brandon wants to know if you guys are serious, and I'm staring at this email, and I said to Pip, did you pitch to Galileo Games an idea of a Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences RPG? And Pip was like, "No, I didn't." "Oh shit, he thought I was serious." And I said, "Back up, honey. What?
That's how we do it in New Zealand, man. That's how it's done."
You know what? It worked for
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, well, no, it worked for Neil Blomkamp. You know, Peter Jackson said, "What are you working? Well, we're not doing the Halo movie, so what are you doing, Neil?" "Oh, I'm going to work on my student film about this, UFO in South Africa, and they're segregating aliens and stuff like that." Peter Jackson, "Oh, really?"
Okay.
Pulls out his checkbook. "Hey, here's a couple million. Go ahead and make that film." And next thing you know,
But for those of us who don't have Peter Jackson as close personal friends, go and crowdfunding is a good.
But in a way, don't we all?
Right. I mean, I thought you all knew each other in New Zealand.
Well,
and they're all so friendly.
Yes, we're all very. I used to work with 2 ladies of Rohan and about 3 hobbits, but it's not like they say, except for that bit.
So the thing is, New Zealand is a very small community. It's a very small acting community, and yet, Anthony Starr has been in the business for years. Carl Urban has been in the business for years, and it wasn't until The Boys, an American production, that those two finally got to work on the set together. Mm. And man, I don't know if you guys are watching The Boys or not. That is some primo, and the two of them are absolutely fantastic. The outcome.
There's lots of gore.
Yeah, lots of gore, lots of gore.
Over the top.
He comes up and goes, "Oi, cunt!" And then he turns around and goes, "William!" And it's like the two of them really play off of each other. Just
we actually, I was going to ask you about that, Jack, because Serena was like, "I want to go and watch The Boys," and we were like, "Yeah, you can sort of watch it. You're 16 now." So, is there like a age limit or a bottom limit for your project? Does it have one, or is it just if you love gore or if you love horror?
Well, Am I Evil is not The Boys. I mean, if you've seen The Boys, it's basically. But I mean, the opening line of the song. The opening lines are, my mother was a witch. She was burned alive. Thankless little bitch for the tears I cried. So it's not like this is it's not a nursery rhyme. And the song in our book is basically about the revenge that that our, don't want to call him a hero, our protagonist gets on the people who burned his mother alive. And so, it's probably not going to be. I think a teenager can handle it, but it's probably not.
Hang on. I'm pretty sure that Am I Evil, there was a similar plot line in Caillou. I'm pretty sure there was a similar plot line in Caillou. Wasn't there? It had to be. There had to be.
I was going to say, it's not Goodnight Moon, for sure.
Hey, I have to duck out, so it's on a pleasure seeing everybody that I know and meeting people that I haven't known. Hello.
Evo.
Yeah. Good seeing you, Evo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wait, so long, everybody. What?
All right, I was going to say, promote something before you go.
Promote something before I go. Guy, let's see. Well, if you're into podcasting and you are a podcaster, check out Pontifications.com. So do that show 4 days a week. Every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's 10 minutes all about philosophical, high-minded, crazy shit about podcasting. You'll love it as long as you're into podcasting. Podcast, Pontifications.com. That's it.
All right. Nice. Thank you so much, Evo.
Bye, guys. Cheers.
See you soon. Yeah. Thank God. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, seriously, Evo is one of the best people in the world, and Sheila as well. But again, we're good company, and actually, we have in less than 10 minutes, we're going to have Bobby Blitz going to be joining us. Speaking of legends from Band Overkill, so we definitely want to hear everything he's got to say. I think Rich is going to join us back then, so I don't know. We'll shuffle a little bit, but yeah, I mean, Cheyenne, I don't think we've given you really a chance to really talk. So let us know what's all exciting and new in your world.
Well, like I said, we just finished yet another Girl Genius Kickstarter for the new edition, for the new volume that just from the last year's basically collection of all the books that we did there. Immediately launched into supporting another Kickstarter that we're not actually running, but it's for a Girl Genius video game that'll being produced by a Norwegian company called Rain. That's really big into steampunk games and whatnot, and actually it just got put up on the staff picks on Kickstarter page. So
that's key. That's key.
Yeah.
If you get on the staff picks, because I know that when we got our stuff on staff picks, I remember we did a big and then it shot up. So yeah, but that's very cool, Cheyenne. Is it going to be a PC only? Is it going to be? I mean, what's the goal?
I think they're they wouldn't say in the Kickstarter thing. They can't say until for various reasons. But they did say all our other games have come out for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch.
Oh.
So is this your first video game, Cheyenne? Is this your first game, or is it?
No, I mean there was one other video game based off of Girl Genius that was just for like Android tablets and the like, and for I think for the iPad. And then I've done icon work for some MMOs like Champions and Star Trek Online, stuff like that.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So I've worked with video game things, and like for some time it's not quite the same level, but there's a bunch of crazy kids that are working on in the milieu of Minecraft. They've been making a TARDIS mod for Minecraft where you get to fly around in a Doctor Who style TARDIS. And I came in because and started helping them out at making art assets and modeling for them, mostly because I wanted to make TARDISes that you'd never seen before. I didn't want to make stuff from like Doctor Who. I wanted to make new stuff that you hadn't seen before. And all the modelers and the artists they had working on it were just recreating things that from the show. And I'm like, well, let's do some new things. And so I started helping them out for that, and it's a lot of fun. Other than that, I do a lot of board games and card games, of course. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And Savage Worlds, right?
Yes.
Which
also just wrapped up another big Kickstarter. And,
jeez, man.
Okay, let's finish the world map for the new edition of Deadlands, which is the sort of the flagship title for Savage Worlds games. It's the Tales of the Weird West. It's cowboys versus zombies and other horrors of the Southwest, that sort of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Well, listen, Cheyenne, when you are ready to write crowdsourcing or crowdfunding for dummies, I will make the introductions. I will make that happen for you, brother.
You've already got one, D.
Yeah, they may have
multiple ones. Yeah,
I'm sure that someone else has already done that.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, Alan, you can see there's a lot of resources here if you ever want to learn about podcasting
I love this. It's so cool.
Or crowdfunding.
Every day's a school day, brother.
Yeah, Girl Genius. At Girl Genius, we've been putting out these trade paperback collections once a year. Pretty much all run off of Kickstarter. We publish new pages every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for free on Girl Genius online.com, and where you can read them for free. But then at the end of the year, we collect them all into a new trade paperback and then use Kickstarter to handle all the pre-orders for them, basically, and ship them out. So we've had plenty of Kickstarters under our belt at this point. Because this is, I think the one we just Kickstarted was volume 20 of Girl Genius.
That's cool.
Yeah. And T. Morris has literally written a book on crowdfunding. Well, he's Wiley's like one of their number one guys, not crowd. So you tell
I
us.
didn't do crowdfunding. No. No. I did podcasting for Dummies with first edition was with Evo Terra, and then all the editions up to the one that's coming out in October, the 4th edition. Editions 2, 3, and 4 were all done with Chuck Tomasi. And so that was, podcasting for Dummies for my first one. And then back in 2018, I pitched to them Twitch for Dummies, and they said, we're in. So I wrote for them Twitch for Dummies. And then just as I was wrapping that one up, I said, so I'm learning this thing called Discord. You guys want to book for that? And they were like, we'd love it. So I can now say I've kind of cornered the market for content creation at Dummies, because if you want to learn about it, you basically buy 3 books: Discord for Dummies, Twitch for Dummies, and Podcasting for Dummies. You're set. And yeah, it's working for Wiley has been a lot of fun. They're good people. And it keeps it keeps me like you said earlier, every day is school day. I mean, I have learned. I mean, this is the edition of Twitch for Dummies that came out in 2019. It is full of all these sticky notes, and I'm planning this week to basically pitch to the guys. Okay, we've just finished the 4th edition of Podcasting for Dummies. Let's seriously talk about a 2nd edition of Twitch for Dummies, because so much has changed. So I've learned a lot. I've learned a heck of a lot, and I also discovered I went to an event last year called TwitchCon, and that's their big event. That's their big media event. I discovered all these other areas of Twitch that I had no idea existed. I mean, people basically just streaming their vacations. And I'm like, how do you do that with public Wi-Fi? How do you do that? And it's been a fascinating ride. And this week marks my 3rd year streaming content, which feeds into podcasting. And it's just been, this was stuff that Jack and I were, the stuff that Jack and I speculated about doing back in the early days in 2005, 2006. It's all second nature now. So it has been a heck of a journey. It's been a heck of a journey, and I'm very excited about this new venture that you all are embarking on with IndieGoGo. There's a lot of potential here. I really am going to be pulling for you guys that you all pull this off, because I think it's got. I'm honestly happen, because I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about this.
I can't say, I've known T almost as long as I've known Evo, and I appreciate it, T. Again, you and Pip are just some of my favorite people in the world. I so appreciate it. I mean, of course, all of your live streaming, that's why you're a millionaire these days, right? It's because of the live streaming.
Oh, bless.
That's true.
Because there's all kinds of money in this. That's what, we talked about this with Alan before you guys joined. There's all kind, people have these dreams that we're all going to be, the comic's going to come out, or the album's going to come out, or the book's going to come out, and we're going to be lighting cigars with $100 bills. But now, that's not
gangster life. Gangster
life back.
Yeah.
I've worked at pretty much every level of comics, from the guy who sold them to you to now to the guy who makes them, and money in comics.
We're gonna have
do you like heavy metal?
Yeah.
Do you know John Arch, the singer for Fate's Warning, the original singer?
No, I do not.
He did a thing called Arch Matheos, an EP. They've done a couple records since then, but there's a song called Cheyenne on the first EP that is so cool.
Really?
Check it out, Arch Matheos.
Okay.
Cheyenne. Yeah.
Well,
you need to find it.
Can you give me sort of what it's about?
Actually, I don't know what it's about.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the lyrics. It's just a beautiful, really cool song. Really cool.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Normally, when people say, "Oh, I know that name Cheyenne," they usually tell me about some stripper or something. So, best of luck.
Well, I mean, it's a rock song, so
it's not about
50-50. Okay. No, they're kind of a prog rock song, so it's probably 28 minutes long. And,
it is a very long song. There's only 4 songs on the EP, and they're all very long, but they're so great. And that particular song I don't know. Your name just made me think of it.
Oh, yeah, no.
See, that's the thing. I feel like I'm the most vanilla of everybody here because I was not a metal kind of guy, and then I started seeing this woman up here in the top corner. This whole chill New Zealand angelic thing. Do not buy into it. I found out that I was not only dating, but I was marrying a headbanger. We were heading off to Gen Con. She goes, "Okay, T, now we're going to educate you." And she started putting on she put on Metallica's Garage Inc. She put on there the Black Album. I mean, I'm getting all this. I'm like, okay, I get it now. And I remember I was, but I will say I did have one thing that I could hip onto Pip. Driving along, you were like, well, yeah, this has a really solid drum beat. Reminds me a lot of YYZ from Rush. And she goes, "Who's Rush?" And I went, "Bitch, sit back." I put on Moving Pictures, and that's all we listened to from all the way to Gen Con. We started with Moving Pictures. I went to Grace Under Pressure. That's when I saw Rush. I saw Rush live with Grace Under Pressure. That was a hell of a concert.
I saw that tour.
That's because we're old.
That's correct. That is correct.
See if some kidney stone.
I saw him on the Presto tour, you old geezers. Yeah, that was like, what, 1990?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but what, I mean, you talk about some showmen. Man, those guys put on a freaking show.
Yeah.
But that was really the hardest rock. I mean, but when people say that Rush is metal, I'm like, are they really? I mean,
metal elements. They're definitely
yes.
But they're super prog. And I actually was lucky enough to see the Moving Pictures tour when they redid it. And they played a bunch of new stuff off of Clockwork Angels. It was a really, really cool concert, I gotta say. And I can't even believe that Neil Peart's gone.
Yeah, neither can I.
All right, I'm going to yank you off stage now with your what's one of those? Hold on.
Sorry, my thing's making noise here. I don't know how to shut this off.
Have you guys seen the map of metal?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I got to look that up. I got to look that up.
It's mapofmetal.com, and it's all of metal music laid out as a fantasy game world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think like the 80s metal is like denim. The landscape is denim. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
No, you should definitely check it out. Map of Metal, all one word, no spaces, no caps.com.
All right, so Pip, you and I are slipping away then?
Yes.
All right.
I'm taking you away with the yoinking. What's that thing where they put it around your neck?
It's the hook. It's the hook. You give me the hook. All right, guys. Good luck.
All right.
Good luck on this. Good luck on this. This crowdsourced material.
We'll be
You guys
watching.
are gonna kill it. You guys are
Yes.
gonna kill it.
Thank you so much, T and Pip. Yeah, and I can't say thank you enough. You guys are awesome, and thank you also for saying crowdsourcing. We keep saying Kickstarter, but it's IndieGoGo, it's crowdsourcing. They're the two big ones. It's the Coke and Pepsi of. But no, I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your night. And yeah, go ahead and pimp something on your way out the door too.
Social media for writers.
Sorry for the background noise. I don't know how to pimp.
All right.
We have a new book out, Social Media for Writers, that I think will be also help on the creators as well. So,
And we also got the Swing on My podcasting. Are you sure this is a graphic novel that's based around a metal song and not some fucking Tinkerbell story?
That's next.
Well, truth be told.
That's the next one.
All right. Good night, guys.
all
All right,
right.
thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having me on. Cheers,
See
guys.
you later.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, guys. Oh,
Hey, well, I guess it's just you and me now.
yeah, we lost Alan. Hey, so all right, so Cheyenne, now's your chance to shine. We're finally alone. We're finally alone now, Cheyenne. I can finally profess my feelings for you.